Hey everybody, it's a relaxing Sunday afternoon. It's raining outside, so I apologize for any noise you're hearing there, but tomorrow's election day, and I thought I would take a moment to talk about the science of why our presidential elections in the United States are so f***ed up. Patreon supporter Matt Herring asked, why are presidential elections so close? So today is Patreon Monday, where I answer a real question from a real answer file on Patreon. If you would like to get a question answered and some sweet, sweet perks, you can go to patreon.com/answerswithjoe. And I know that this is slightly off topic for this channel, but just last Thursday I did a collaboration with Isaac Arthur on The Great Attractor, which was a very sciencey video. If you missed it because it didn't come out on the normal day, you can click on it and go check it out yourself. So to the question at hand. An easy answer would be to blame the media because they are looking for a horse race to get the most ratings. I mean, Hillary was kind of running away with this thing before a new stitch in the whole email thing came out, and then suddenly that's all they were talking about for the last couple of weeks, and hey, look at that! The numbers are tightening. Even though the FBI director stressed that these emails had nothing to do with her, and he was required by law to let the House know about it because he was conducting this other investigation that had something to do with this investigation where she was exonerated, but I digress. The point is there a massive conspiracy to make elections tighter so that the media companies make more money? Now, most of you guys know I am not a very conspiratorial person, but I am going to argue that this is slightly true, but it's not like there's some guy smoking a cigar on the top floor pulling the strings to make this happen. It's really about systems. If you want to understand how things really work, whether it's on the macro scale like world economics or only, micro in your daily life, you have to look at the systems that are in place around it. The systems govern what the end result will be. Just like the second law of thermodynamics states that all matter moves towards entropy, systems naturally flow toward a state of equilibrium. Any for-profit institution is going to gravitate toward the thing that's going to make them more money. And blowout elections don't get ratings. Scandals do. So it's been email-a-palooza for the last 2 weeks. But that's not with the intent of swaying the election. That's just a corporation doing the thing that a corporation is designed to do. Which is why in a lot of ways I think CNN was one of the worst things that ever happened to America, but that's another story for another time. So the media system plays a part in this for sure, but I think there's an even deeper systemic thing that has to do with this, and it's the electoral system itself. In the United States, we use a system called first past the post, and I don't know where that name comes from, but it basically means that you get one vote for one candidate, and whoever gets the most votes wins. It's winner take all. Which sounds totally rational on paper. Whoever gets the most votes should win, right? On paper, yes. In practice, there's a whole host of problems. For one thing, it almost always leads to a very strong two-party system, which CGP Grey explained in this video. But beyond that, it creates tight elections because the two parties are incentivized to go toward the middle because that's where the bell curve of people are on the left-right political spectrum. This is sometimes called Diverger's law and sometimes called median voter theorem, but the basic premise is that it creates tight elections because the parties have to go to the middle because that's where the voters are. The voters don't always lie on a simple left-right political spectrum. There are people who are fiscally conservative but socially liberal and vice versa. And these people wind up feeling completely left out of the political process. And first past the post discourages third parties because of the so-called spoiler effect. For instance, there's a lot of libertarian voters out there for whom Gary Johnson represents their views, but they can't bring themselves to vote for Gary Johnson because they even more so don't want to see Hillary become president, and they know that a vote for Gary Johnson is basically a vote for Hillary. I know ideologically there are some purists out there that say that if everybody voted their conscience, then there would be third parties and they would be viable, and I wish that were true, but it's simply not applicable in the system that we currently have. But what if we had a different system? There are some other voting systems that fix the problems that we see in first past the post, which CGP Grey talks about quite a bit in his videos. I'll just give a brief summary right here. In an alternative voting system, also known as instant runoff elections, instead of voting for one candidate, you actually list your candidates in order of preference. You rank them. So when the votes are counted, if your candidate comes out at the bottom, then your vote will go to your second favorite candidate. That way you know that your vote won't go to the person, or it won't benefit the person that you hate the most. In the case of our libertarian voter from earlier, they could vote Gary Johnson as their number one and Donald Trump is their number two, and that way if when Gary Johnson doesn't win, then his vote will go to Donald Trump and he knows that he won't be supporting Hillary Clinton. Now, no system is perfect. The AV system is more complicated. It's harder for voters to understand. It's a lot more costly, but it does fix a lot of the problems in our first past the post system. Other voting systems include the mixed member proportional vote and the single transferable vote systems, both of which, you guessed it, CGP Grey breaks down in the videos I'll link below, but those are more congressional and parliamentary focused and not quite as applicable here, so I'll just let you go check them out for yourself. Now, I can already hear some of you out there screaming, what about the Electoral College? Interesting fact, the actual presidential election is not tomorrow. It's actually December 19th. That's when the 538 party-picked electors cast their ballots for president, which they almost always go along with what their voters preferred, but not always. There have been 87 times when the electors didn't vote the way that their constituents voted, but considering there's 538 electors, and this has been done 56 times over 200 years, it's pretty small number of times that's happened. And yeah, the Electoral College system is just one of those legacy things from the beginning of our country when information only traveled as fast as a horse could run. Back then it made sense that all elections would be local and that they would send electors to Washington, D.C. to cast their votes all in one place. But today, you know, with information traveling the way it does, it's just really not necessary. But hey, tradition, am I right? You know, it's times like this, actually, that I'm really glad that Great Britain makes their lawyers wear stupid wigs, because it's nice to know that we're not the most anachronistic country in the world. Just saying. Alright, so here's where I'd probably lose some subscribers, but hey, why not? It's been a good run. I've been mostly apolitical on here. This is not a politics channel, and yet I keep getting asked who I'm going to vote for. I've answered in only joking terms in the past, but, well, I've never been shy about oversharing before, so why not? Now I know I just convinced exactly nobody to do this, and I just earned a mountain of thumbs downs and a whole bunch of wonderful comments that I'm going to be reading all day long telling me what an idiot I am, and I just love going through an entire Monday with an anxiety level baseline of about 7.5. But for you weirdos out there that wanted to know my position on things, there you go. That's my 2 cents. You asked for it. It's your fault. Now, more than anything, what's most important to me is I just want people to calm down. Hillary supporters, I don't agree with Trump or Pence on just about anything, but I don't think that they're going to bring the entire country down, okay? I think that the system will bring things back into equilibrium. And anybody out there who's talking about armed insurrection if Hillary wins, just stop. Just stop. Look, the day after tomorrow, we're all still going to be citizens of this country. We're all still going to have problems that need to be fixed, and we're going to need to come together. And the fact of the matter is, there are more things that connect us than divide us. Whoever wins, you can protest against them, you can be unhappy about it, but at some point, we're all going to have to just calm down and get together over a beer. Discuss in the comments, but it's living room rules, people, okay? If you're disrespectful, I don't care which side you're on, you get one warning and then you get banned. I'm not joking. I've got a lot of really great subscribers out there. I got no need for any of the assholes. Anyway, go out there, have an eye-opening week, you guys, and take care of each other, all right? I'll be back next week with another big science video, all this election stuff behind us, thank God. Love you guys. Yes, all of you. I'll see you next time. Take care.